you're all looking wonderful, you're looking beautiful, and the food. And my job today as Lady Godiva is to open this garden party, and I feel very honoured and very privileged to be with you. I know I'm often with you and we're often dancing and doing things together, but we can't quite do that today. But I'm here to be your link. I'm your link today between your loved ones at home and you, because I can see you and be with you. And I'm sending you so much love and big hugs today, because I know that's what they'd be doing. And I remember all the beautiful families that you have. Your families are wonderful, and I know they'd love to be with you. So this is the next best thing. So I know it's going to be another wonderful garden party at the Weavers, because this is a very special place, a home from home. God bless you all, and I know that you're going to have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Welcome to the Weavers Care Home Garden Party 2020. Lockdown version, I'm afraid. Thanks to Prue Poretta for a wonderful introduction to the proceedings. We'll be seeing her later on in the programme.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Keely and Alan, 10 years of service.
One of the many problems that Weavers Care Home have encountered is you, the relatives, wanting to see your loved ones. Angela Johnson, the care home manager, gave us an insight into life after lockdown.
As from the middle of March, we went into lockdown because of the coronavirus. We said that we would step up the infection control, which we already had covered anyway. We've got the accreditation for infection control for the home. Staff have been absolutely amazing. We've had no issues with staff being scared to come into work. They've been tested, they've had their training upgraded. It's just been fine, absolutely fine. We've just carried on as normal. As for visitors, at first they found it a little bit difficult. That was purely because not being able to visit. However, when we started to set up the Skype, regular phone calls, updates and emails, they had total confidence in us, and the fact that we hadn't had any coronavirus here at the home, they were very, very content and satisfied. The tablets that we use for Skyping, at first it was a little bit, it's technology for this age group. It was a little bit daunting at first, but after a while, the reaction from the resident with speaking to the family was amazing. They could see the face of each other, and that was total reassurance for the family and the resident themselves. And we booked them in. The relatives email the home. We book them into a slot. They stick to that time and day of what they've chosen, and it works from there. It's been working fine.
Thank you, nurses.
During the lockdown, we obviously had the Thursday night clapping for key workers.
Thank you, carers.
The senior carers, I have to say in particular, one senior carer, Kirsty, she instigated the Thursday night clapping for most residents that wanted to go out. And after the second, third Thursday, the residents were totally enthusiastic and loved clapping for the key workers.
Thank you, Postman.
As it's been such a while for lockdown, we know that we can't keep visitors away forever. However, I'm still a little bit apprehensive that this age group is what we call the shielded group, and yes, they have underlying health issues. We've started now to introduce garden visits, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Again, the families have been written to by Nick Weaver to explain all of this.
Can you think of anything in the garden that begins with a D?
A D?
Yeah.
They will email us or phone us, book their visit. There will be all social distance. Once they come to the home, their temperature will be taken. They'll be guided through the vicinity where they can go to sit with their relative in the garden. How this proceeds, we're not quite sure, because we're taking advice off the government. And until August the 1st, this is how we've got to act. The garden visits only. They are still what we call shielded residents. When we first had the lockdown, suppliers were very, very good, but obviously this started to dwindle off because they were having issues. It wasn't their direct fault. So we then started having contact with Coventry City Council, who I must admit, I have to say, have been excellent. We have had no issues in accessing PPEs. No issues whatsoever. They've been amazing. So they are there at hand if we needed to call them every day. We're very happy with that.
In Coventry we work quite uniquely with health and social care, so within adult commissioning within Coventry City Council we've got an integrated joint team that supports care homes and monitors quality within care homes. So when I say joint team, we've got a team of clinical staff, so 3 nursing staff, and then we've got our contract monitoring officers and our commissioning managers within that team. I think, as I say, that's quite unique. Nationally, there's not many teams that work in the same way, but this gives us a more all-round view of supporting care homes from a clinical perspective, but also all of the non-clinical stuff.
I think the next steps is about how we can support infection control management within care homes going forward, and we're embarking on a programme of support across Coventry and Warwickshire to support care homes to better manage infection control and obviously the COVID challenges.
I think there are a number of future challenges that we've all got to face, including the care homes. So whether we continue to use PPE, we're continuing waiting for new guidance coming out, and obviously there's always the talk of a second wave, and then we've got the flu season during the winter that will come in, which will cause us some concern and challenges. I think the care homes are well equipped for it, and I think they're probably in a better place than they have ever been. I think the other thing that we need to acknowledge is families. So I think we underestimate the anxiety and the strain that this has added on families, because obviously you've not been able to come in and see your loved ones. And here at the Weavers, I know they've certainly done things in an innovative way to try and maintain that contact. And I think we very much underestimate how difficult it is for families.
I think it's great to see that are going to celebrate, or at least celebrate, you know, over the weekend in terms of what's happening at the Weavers. It's great to see that the opportunity to share with families, some of the residents, what they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and show that they are, you know, happy and being able to be supported in the right way. So it's great to come to this occasion and be part of celebrating the weekend and what they've done over the past few months.
So the question is,
you know, the care staff, the management, even down to the housekeepers, you know, they've been terrific in terms of, you know, what they've had to deal with and how they've managed it. And I think, you know, here at Weavers and across Coventry, you know, the care homes, we've able to manage that, and that's a testament to all the staff and everyone involved in supporting people.
I think there's one thing really important that we all need to remember, and just to reinforce, so even though we're in a pandemic situation, that day-to-day activity remains the same. The needs of the individuals that they're looking after here at the Weavers and all the other care homes in Coventry remains the same, and the care home staff have maintained that. I think it's probably easier for the care home staff than families, like I mentioned before, but they've maintained that, and day-to-day activity continues. You can see that activities like today and tomorrow continue, and I think we need to remember that, even though during these difficult times.
So great to hear about all that work behind the scenes. Let's rejoin Prue Porretta and Lady Godiva.
Greetings. My name is Godiva, Countess of Mercia. I lived and died more than 900 years ago, but my spirit lives on in my city of Coventry. I rode my horse through the market of the town, without my royal robes, without my gold and jewels. I was going without, like the poorest ones, to persuade my husband Leofric to remove the burden of tax. So with the help of Christ and his blessed Mother Mary, I did what was necessary in devotion and sacrifice. This day, I am so happy to be with you, to be here in this beautiful garden, in this beautiful family of the Weavers Care Home. I love to come here. I love to meet the residents and the care staff. It is run in such a wonderful way. It has been a hard time, this time of the COVID, when people haven't seen their relatives. They haven't been able to hug people. That's one of the things I love to do. I love to chat and meet and be involved with the real stories about real families. This has been a difficult time for all of us, but we're coming out of the ashes. And we are visiting. Today is my first day that I've actually dressed in my medieval costume. We've been on Zooms and team meetings and telephones, looking through windows, but no school visits and no visits to the homes. So this today is such a joyful day for me to be here at the Weavers Care Home Garden Party, a party that I've been to for many years, where we've danced and eaten and made friends. So how great is it that my first visit coming out of COVID should be with you. Thank you for the invitation. I look forward to many more, to readdressing all the visits that we can make, obviously under the rules. But thank you and God bless you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, I'm Anne Lucas.
Lord Mayor of Coventry, Anne Lucas, visited Weavers Care Home to give the residents and staff alike hope for next year's garden party.
I just wanted to say a few things. I know this year is very different because this year you're unable to have all your family and friends here, but you've got your family at the Weavers Home with you, and I'm sure next year there'll be a garden full of people singing and dancing and having a great time. I'd like to thank...
We asked the Lord Mayor about the 2021 Coventry City of Culture event.
The City of Culture has been won by the city and was supposed to start on the 1st of January next year. So that's 21. But of course this horrible coronavirus has put everything on hold. And one of the reasons that we've been able to put it back is there's lots of work going on in the city centre to make the city beautiful for people to come to and enjoy us. And of course all that work stopped. We've got orders of marble stuck in Italy that can't come over, and we don't want to invite people to our party when the decorating's not done. And because of that, it's had to be put back. And we also want lots of people to be able to come together. And at the moment, in the same way that we're socially distancing, we can't do that. And so with the agreement of the Department of Culture down in London, they've said yes, they'll allow us to go from May 21 to May 22. So sadly, although I was going to be Lord Mayor for the City of Culture, at least part of it, my year will have finished when we become the City of Culture. So am I a bit sad? Well, yes, I am. But on the other hand, it's all about Coventry being a place that people want to come to, that businesses want to come to, and that actually weathers the storm that I think COVID might leave behind economically, to make us a city that bounces back, because that's what Coventry does. We've done it so many times.
Weavers Care Home are delighted to be a star supporter in the Belgrade's Play Your Part fundraising campaign. Weavers Care Home have sponsored a step within the new proposed theatre development, helping the Belgrade 2020 redevelopment project. Yet another way Weavers Care Home are helping the city to grow.
Shadow of love on the blind. She was my woman. As she deceived me, I watched and went out of my mind. Here we go now. My Delilah. Why, Delilah? I could see.
Coventry's official Lady Godiva, Prue Porretta, MBE, believes that Lady Godiva is as important a figure today as she has ever been. We asked her thoughts on playing the role for more than 30 years.
How do I feel about playing the character of Godiva, or being a Godiva for many people? Because I suppose I've become Godiva for many. Little children run up and greet me and hug me. I don't know what we're going to do with this, but that's what they do. And in fact, people tell me all their stories. They want to intimately tell me things that's happened to them. And I think it's an honour. It's a fantastic honour and privilege. Whether I've grown into Godiva or Godiva's grown into me, I'm not sure, but I've done so much research because I don't think you can ever take on such a special role. Godiva, to many people, is a legend. And for me, when my mother thought that I should even try to be a Godiva for Coventry and be chosen by our city to be the official Godiva, at that point, I thought, well, I don't know enough. So I researched, but I've continued researching and researching over all the years because you can never know enough. And it's the tiny things you find out, and social history I really enjoy. And to take it back 1,000 years, but also to take it forward, because I don't think Godiva should just live in the past. We should know about her as a person, but then what about today? Why is Godiva important? Is she just a statue in the middle of Broadgate? Is she a clock? Is she a legend?
no, she's real, because she can take a story out. I formed a group called the Godiva Sisters. I was talking in a temple to some ladies and they wanted to know all about Godiva, and I started to tell them, and at the end of it something happened, this interaction, and the leader of their group hugged me, because in those times we could hug, and I just said to her, I don't know how it came, but it just came to me, who is your Godiva? We all have Godivas, we all have heroes, we all have leaders, whether it's a faith or a culture. Godiva is a living being, really, enfolded within what you do. That's how I feel. I've asked Godiva, as that might sound strange, to help me in what I do, because I don't want to make anything false. Yes, I'm me, but I think hopefully I take out the right spirit and passion of our history, getting people to understand what she really meant, that she was a wife, that she was a mother, and she was a grandmother. She was the grandmother to the Queen of England, and a lot of people forget that. They forget her role, her real role, apart from her countess role, Countess of Mercia, and being the wealthiest woman in England when she died, and that was true. So Coventry has it all. We are the centre of England, but really centre of the world, in the fact that we care, we love, we show, we go out there and we do it. We don't just talk about it, we do it. And that's what makes Coventry the centre of peace and reconciliation, the Godiva family and the caring care homes that we have.
Now, let's have a look at what's been happening for the last few days around Weavers Care Home.
Thank you to Jean and thank you to John.
Thank you, Sally, and thank you to you too, Margaret.
Thank you to Bernie, and thank you to Bert.
Thank you, Sil.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, Bronwyn, and thank you, Dora.
So Lillian made this plant pot. She stuck all the beads on, didn't you, Lillian?
Yeah.
You cut out all the butterflies, you stuck them all on, and then they varnished it. That's Lillian's plant pot.
Like me flowers.
Like me flowers, yeah. Worked hard on them.
Yeah, I did work hard on them. They're really nice. Yeah, I hope they grow all right now. I've put these on, the beads on as well, and dressed the tin up.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Alice.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Sheila.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Thank you, Betty.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Janet.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Hi, Siobhan. Hi, Helen. Hi, Dimpner. Those are the three girls. My son's Enda. His wife's Dinah. And then there's all the boy relatives.
Yeah, all your family.
All the family, yeah.
You're looking forward to seeing them as soon as they can come and see you, aren't you, John?
Yeah, say hello to everybody.
That's John's drawing, look. Still doing his art, aren't you, John?
Yeah, yeah.
We made this one. It's planting today for the garden.
Yeah, they don't look too bad.
That looks really good.
Really.
Excellent at drawing.
Yeah. Cheerio to everybody for the
soon.
time being. Nice to have seen you all.
Yeah.
Hello, Jean. Dear friend Jean.
Hi everyone, Mum here. Lovely to be with you all. Keep smiling and be happy. That's the only thing you've got to do, is be happy. I love you all.
That's it.
Hi kids. Remember the space.
Just have a cup of tea. That was your reward.
The red one is even better at the top. Yes, lovely.
We're just helping to do all the borders. We've took all the old plants out that have died and we're now putting new plants in to make it all pretty. So this is our gardener Gladys.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hi. And this is lovely Jean, likes the gardener.
Hi.
And this is Ken. Give a wave, Ken. Give a wave.
Thank you, Pauline.
Say thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Gladys.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Lillian.
Thank you to all the residents at Weavers Care Home.
Thank you.
Hi, I'd just like to say a big thank you to all the residents for their patience and understanding through these troublesome times. Thank you.
Enjoy yourself.
I will.
Where's my wine?
I'll say hello to my brother, my sister-in-law and my nephews.
Alan just sent you these. He did.
They're beautiful.
Where is he?
He's just nipped to the shop.
Can I go with you?
No, he's just dropped them off. How
And go.
beautiful.
Then
Show
you
me.
go there.
Show
You
me.
know where it is.
Show me the flowers.
Yeah.
Oh, they're beautiful. Smell them.
Thank
Can
you.
you smell them? Are they
Take me
nice?
down.
Do you want to go in to get a vase? Come on then.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, see you all soon. Bye.
Thank you to all the residents for making me feel welcome at the Weavers and putting up with me whilst I make all this noise of drilling and hammering.
Thank you to the staff and the residents for making me welcome on my first week at Weavers Care Home.
Your Jeff is going to be able to see you on camera. So wave and say, hello Jeff. Love ya.
Oh, thank you. You don't know what it's like, but still. Oh, it's cold. It burns your lips.
Can I have a go? You like a party, don't you?
Oh, yes.
You're good at shaking your moves.
Yes. We're outside, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's rejoin Lady Godiva for a final poetic closing.
Near the bowery eaves of Arden and the rolling Dunsmore plain, to the Saxon town of Cofa's Tree, Leofric, Earl of Mercia, came. He declared that here upon this land he would build a monastery and turn this town into a thriving place in the year 1043. And his wife's name was Godiva, and she grieved to see the folk who work so hard for their daily bread neath the cruel taxation yoke. She pleaded with her husband to let these people free. He said, "Ride this horse in your nakedness, and then I may agree." She rode a horse in her nakedness along the streets and ways, and the townsfolk kept their shutters closed and turned away their gaze. Some say that Tom peeped up just then and thereby lost his sight. But the people were freed from their burden and relinquished from their plight. And thus it grew over centuries, did this city Coventry, in the centre of all England, of all its history. Its people have been witness to the world's unceasing change. When man fights man through ignorance, it has always borne the strain. A stronghold in the civil war with battlements all around. A survivor of one November night when Hitler's bombs rained down. Now Godiva stands in frozen time as a statue in the square, but the skyline that surrounds her has changed from year to year. New spires on the horizon, new roads across the fields. How many of us living now remember her ideals? No, it's not the steel and concrete that make a city strong, but a spirit, a true spirit of community, of caring, of love and trust that keep it living on. Thank you.
We'll leave the last words to the owner of Weaver's Care Home, Nick Weaver.
I just want to say a big thank you to all the staff at the Weavers that have been doing such a great job at the care home, often called the Weavers Warriors. The compliments that we've been receiving over the recent months have been amazing from families and friends, which really shows how much they appreciate the work you've been doing. I'd just like to say to the families, thanks for your patience. The Skype calls have helped, I hope. Garden visits start next week with social distancing, of course, and hopefully more relaxed visiting in the coming months. I hope you've enjoyed today. It's been great fun. See you soon. Goodbye.